So today I'm joined with Amandeep Singh, also known as Sikh Analogy on Instagram. Amandeep, do you want to introduce yourself to everyone that might not know you, who are living under
Uh,
rocks?
Hi, I'm Amandeep Singh. I'm a Sevadar of Technology on Instagram, and I just spread awareness about how to link Gurbani into the real world. I'm currently a university student, and I'm honored to be here with Sikhi class doing this podcast.
So how did you actually get into Sikhi? So what actually brought you into Sikhi in the first place?
So it was a mixture of different things, but mainly Sangat. Like in sixth form, I met this Gursikh who got me into Sikhi. We used to like skip lessons together, uh, do Korj, like research of Sikhi, and
Skip lessons to
skip
research on
lessons.
Sikhi.
You got to do what you got to do in it. But yeah, that led on to me learning more about Sikhi, falling in love with Gurbani, going to Gurdwara more, and obviously speaking to an Amritari from their perspective, it's not so scary when you've got that friendship. So then I was blessed with Amrit in 2017, and then from there on I've just like been living Sikhi, I guess.
So how was that experience of taking Amrit? Because I myself haven't done that yet, but obviously I would love to very soon. How was that for you?
So it's a lot of people find it daunting, and it really is. Like a couple of days before the Amrit Sanchar, you sort of have doubts in your mind, like, is this the right path? Am I even perfect? Am I even worthy of like following the Rayat and being called a Guru Sikh? But once you do give your head, it's one of the most best feelings ever. Like you're part of the Khalsa, you're part of a family, and it's at the end of the day, it's what we're here to do. It's what
100%.
Guru Sahib says, yeah. So, but when you actually take on with it, it's like a couple of days afterwards, you're still in excitement. You've got that buzz. So it's definitely worth doing in your life.
No, I can imagine. Did your life change more afterwards, or was it kind of the same in terms of
Uh,
emotionally, in terms of your day-to-day, activities?
the main change was the lead up to the Amrit. So like making those changes, like I used to wear like a triangle star, not that that matters, but and then I started wearing the mullah because other Gursikhs like around me were wearing it. And then obviously wearing the bunch of guard, that's the slow process to like buy
Mm.
them, wear them, not know how to use them. Uh, and then so it's a slow progress, but the main buzzing feeling is is like it's constant because once you're in love, you then with Maharaj, then you're like it's just a constant feeling really. And after Amrit, it's really the first step. I'm not sure how to explain it or describe it. It's like indescribable, but
Yeah, no,
basically
I can imagine.
it's the first step.
No, I can imagine. I want to do it myself. Obviously, I'm not brave enough to do it yet, but one day, hopefully, I'll get to that
Hopefully.
myself as well.
Hmm.
But you said you're a uni student and stuff, and I've seen that you've done like Sikhi societies. Now I go to a uni. There's no Sikhi societies. There's no Sikhs in my uni at all. So how was that experience for you? How was being around Sangat that much? How did that influence you and affect your path into Sikhi?
Yeah, Birmingham is known for being like Sikh Central, second Sikh Central in a way. Like London is first, I think. So we have loads of Gurdwara, like 10 or 15 in the whole of the city. So the Sikhs everywhere. But coming to Sikh society, this was after I took Amrit, so I was I had a bit of like knowledge behind me and a bit of experience of reading part and stuff. So getting involved with Seva was kind of easy. But made a lot of friends. And then last year uh, I was the president of the society, and that was a big favor to do to like sort of organize events, talks, socials, get the students involved with the key on campus. And then COVID happened, which spoiled our last event, which was Langar on campus. We were meant to give out langars to like the thousands of students that were there,
Oh
but
wow.
hopefully sometime soon it will recover and it will be on.
No, definitely. You've still got another year of uni, right? So you've got a whole
Mhm.
another year to get all this sorted.
honestly, Sikh society makes you feel like you want to be there forever. Even after you graduate, you just want to come back uh,
Oh,
to keep an
no,
events
I
and
can
stuff.
imagine that feeling.
Yeah, I know a thing from Birmingham City University. He's always there, even though he's like doing his PhD. He's
That's
26
so
and still
cute.
coming to Sikh society. So it really changes lives. And I have a friend that actually like went from transformation. So he didn't keep his guests, but throughout the year, with Sangat of him and Sikh society, he was blessed with Amrit like a couple of months ago. So
Wow, that's so
it,
good.
it really is life changing. So I definitely recommend it to like every student to like get involved with your Sikh society if you have one,
Yeah, or make one. I made the mistake
or
of
make
going
one.
throughout uni and not even trying to make one. So if I was to start uni again, I'd definitely go back and make one because it's obvious that, the impact that a Sikh society can have, or just having Sangat around you, is quite big. And I do wish I had that, but having
Yeah.
this Sikhi class account actually makes me feel like I have Sangat around me, like yourself, and like a lot of other Sikhi accounts that support. So it is nice to have that Sangat around you, and I feel like it's very important as well, especially during this time with COVID and that. Is just a
Hmm.
bit messy, but
So how did you cope with like? So did you ever feel like lonely around campus, like you're the only like Sikh student, like one of the few?
do you know what? I can't say I did. Bit in terms of Sikhi, my path into Sikhi has always been like derived with my mum. My mum is like the most beautiful woman in the world. She has taught me so much. She's taught me everything I know about Sikhi to this point. And I feel like just from coming back home and having that Sikhi knowledge, coming here, I never felt lonely or different. I kind of grew on my Sikhi here on my own, in the sense that I was really inquisitive. I really wanted to know more, and I did my own research. Obviously, it would have been so much better to have Sangat around me, but I am blessed with a beautiful group of friends as well who are very strong in their own faiths. So it was very easy for me to see that they're quite strong in their faiths. So why can't I do the same? Or it kind of influenced me to look into Sikhi a lot further. I feel like I got into Sikhi properly during my A levels. So
Mm.
it was
You just
coming
took lessons like
into
I did.
yes, so coming into uni, it was kind of my opportunity to then, you have a lot more time in uni in comparison to A levels. I feel like A levels really did, you know, put a million bricks
Definitely.
on our time. I lost my social life during A levels, so coming to uni, you have a lot more time to look into these things. So I can definitely see the benefits of having Sangat around you, but um, I definitely took full advantage of my free time during uni, and looked into Sikhi a lot further, especially with lockdown. Um,
Hmm.
Creating the Sikhi class, I created it at the start of lockdown, right? So all that free time as well has really
Yeah,
helped me get to here, and hopefully a lot further down the line, um, a lot closer to Maraj as well. So fingers crossed.
definitely online Sangat is really important nowadays. Like
Mhm.
it's a good platform to use because everyone's pretty much online. If you're not online, then you're sort of people don't know that you exist. So
Exist. It's
so
so true.
you've got like YouTube channels like Basics of Sikhi,
Mhm.
Nanak Naam, etc. that really like changed my life as well. So if you didn't have that kind of Sangat, then you probably like obviously like you said you did research, probably used Basics of Sikhi and other resources.
Definitely, yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's so true. Basics of Sikhi was my childhood. Let's not lie.
Childhood. Yeah, actually it started in 2012 and then it's more just good where it grew and it's still going strong. And
Yeah,
then
exactly.
I was actually blessed with Amrit like a couple of days after Bhai Singh passed away. So
Oh, really?
he inspired me to take Amrit and then it was like a couple of days after that the Amrit Sanchar happened. So it was like
Wow.
it was a bit emotional.
I can imagine. I can imagine. So, how have you found lockdown then in terms of path into Sikhi? Or has it changed? How's your mental health been?
So I'd say like it's been okay because Gurdwara have been kind of open during like the time that like it wasn't lockdown, but when it was lockdown, it was a bit difficult to like keep that energy going and focus because you can't have darshan of Guru Granth Sahib Ji like the physical swaroop, so it's a bit hard and no sangat, no kirtan programs or Amrit Vallas or anything like that. So, but definitely, like I said before, online Sangats like yourself and other Sikhi accounts. That's the reason why I started the page, because I felt like if I didn't sort of do vichar, if I didn't like think about Sikhi, then I'd probably be doing other things or be focusing on my placement a bit too much. It's definitely Sikhi actually like helped help my mental state during lockdown, because it has been a really lonely time for everyone. And without Guru Sahib, I don't know like what I'd be doing. Probably just be watching Netflix or like YouTube videos, playing video games. It's it's crazy what Guru Sahib can do, like the Kirpa and stuff. How about
No, it's
yourself? How's Sikhi like helped you during lockdown?
yeah. So as I said, like at the start of lockdown, it was very weird. Firstly, lockdown in general, it's like something that came out of a film. Every time I look back at it, it does creep me out a bit. But I think it could have been a lot worse if I didn't have my faith. If I didn't keep reminding myself that, you know what, Waiguru's plan is the best. And if this is happening, it's all in accordance to Waiguru's plan, and everything that comes after this is going to be so much better. And I've I've received so many questions from Sangat on my Instagram page of people just
Mm.
being like, how are you dealing with it? How do you see this as something good, like that God is doing? Like this isn't something good. Why? How are you having such a positive mindset? My thing is, things like this really do happen for a good reason. For instance, right, if this didn't happen, a lot of people would not have taken time out for their family. Everyone was so busy in their own personal lives and in their jobs and everything else that they didn't have time for one another. This lockdown came about at a time where everyone actually spent months with their family. And if anything, they learned
Yeah.
so much about their families. Not just that, people had so much time to look into their faith. I had so much time on my hands to look into Sikhi to the point where I started this account. I was making
Yeah,
posts
that's
a
amazing.
lot more regular than what I'm doing now because uni has come back again. But um, it's that type of thing. And I was answering, people's questions that were like that, and I was trying to explain that it is a good thing in a sense because now everyone's so much closer, everyone's so much kinder. People just very busy in their own lives. They didn't
Hmm.
really pay attention to everyone else's struggle. And I think even just knowing that the NHS staff go through so much on a daily basis, that has changed people. Clapping in front of your house on a Thursday evening,
Remember
who
that.
thought that would be a thing, right? But it's
No
changed
one.
everyone's mindset for the better. And I feel like that that only comes about if you really do trust in Vaiguji's
Mm.
plans.
Although people have died, it's sort of taught us a few lessons as well, like to keep cleanliness, which Sikhi actually like preaches as well. Like we have a Ganga for a reason, to keep our gears clean, have an Ishnan, and it keeps us like with the hand gels, like keeping ourselves clean. And especially when you're meant to like read part from Guru Granth Sahib, you're meant to be sucha, so it sort of drills that into our head that we have to be clean at all times. And there's other positives like self-improvement, self-reflection, looking inwards, and also, yeah, like I moved house during lockdown, so it's been a way to like sort of do up a house as well, like sort out your own garden, do some
Here comes
gardening,
an
painting.
analogy.
Oh yeah, the gardening analogy.
So
Um,
before that,
before that, okay.
how do you come up with these analogies? Because uh, they are very interesting. The way your mind thinks, I've noticed it as well. It's like very on the spot. How do you like? Do you sit there and think of it, or does it just happen throughout? You're doing things and then linking it to Wagyu, or
So I've always been like a quiet kid in like school and amongst friends. I still am now, but like I don't know. It's just when you look at when I look at something and I just like have a deep reflection of what it is, I have like an appreciation of how it works, and then if something links to it, then I guess it just links. Let's say like Christmas is coming up, and you know how we have Santa Claus. So they bless us. Well, they give out gifts to kids, right? So then we can link that to how Vaheguru is the data. Like they give out like gifts. They sabko devan har, and they bless us with all this with the house, family, food every day, and so that's similar to like Santa Claus and Christmas. So just having links like that. And in Gurbani, it mentions how like there's a stage where you're able to like see Vaheguru and everything. And it's just my humble attempt to like try to like make my mind like sujar my mind to like see Vaheguru and look past the illusion that this world is like a book is not just a book, a pen is not just a pen. It's part of the creation. So am I, so are you, and everyone else that's listening. So it's just a way of seeing things. It's like
so
removing
cool.
the veil of illusion using Gurbani. Yeah.
That is really cool. See, I'm not smart enough to think like that. So just hearing that in itself, it is really nice. It is really nice. So yeah, you can go on and explain your garden analogy that you were going to say.
All right. So this podcast was about like the main topic today is about mental health because of lockdown and what it's done to people's mental health. Like a lot of people have been messaging about how to deal with death and like feeling lonely. So our mind is kind of like a garden. It has flowers, it has weeds, it has like wildlife that comes in and out. The flowers that are blossoming, they are like the good thoughts that we have, like positive affirmations, the positive like comments that we get from Sangat around us, and like good thoughts about what like Guru Sahib and Sikhi. And then there's the weeds that are like negative thoughts that are saying I'm not worth it, or I'm like, why is this happening? And what we need to do to like keep a garden clean and healthy is like remove the weeds, and those weeds are the bad thoughts, obviously. And we use Gurbani, so like we use Gurbani to do that. And Gurbani in this analogy is like weed killers, spades. I don't know what else gardeners use, but things like pesticides and stuff like that. And the wildlife represents Sangat coming in and out, helping to like pollinate the flowers, the positive thoughts. So it's really important to keep the mind healthy, because if it's not healthy, then the garden will look a mess. And I don't know who likes a messy garden. So that's the analogy. Hopefully that makes sense.
No, it does. It does. It definitely does. I think it's so important as well for people to take that on board, because who knows how long we're going to be in lockdown for again, and how long this is going to go on for. And I feel like as long as everyone tries to look at it from a positive point of view, having a positive outlook on it, it makes everything a little bit easier. Like you said, especially since I feel like people are seeing death a lot more. Because it's being brought to everyone's attention a lot more. The second you turn on the news, they're talking about how many people have died, how many people have got the how many cases there are today. So everyone's a bit more exposed to death than normal. And that is literally why people would DM me and say like, how are you so positive? You're seeing death every day. Like it's there. It's being thrown in our faces essentially, and it is just that. Being able to use Gurbani, being able to link that to your daily activities, being able to put that into your day, that is literally the best way to then, I feel like, have more of a positive outlook on this situation, because it's not easy, and I'm fortunate enough to say that it's a lot harder for other people. I'm in a good place. I have a house, I've got a roof, I've got food, I've got people with me, I've got nice people around me. But not everyone has that. A lot of people have it a lot worse during this lockdown. So it is just being grateful for what you have, because it can go very, very quickly. That was probably the biggest wake up for everyone. It's that it's here today, but it could be gone tomorrow. So what are you going to do about it today?
Exactly. Also, like living in this, like with the virus out there, it can bring about anxiety. I know a few friends that have like messaged me about how to like deal with anxiety because they're feeling like anxious to go outside the house, mixing with friends. But as Gurbani says, like Turki Bani I tin sagli chintamatai. The Bani is like the removal, like it removes anxiety and the worries. As long as you have trust in Gurbani that we're gonna be okay. And even if we do fall ill, we can hold on to Guru Sahib Charan. And if we do die, then it's still okay, because that's hukum. We really aren't this body, we're this soul at the end of the day, and the whole point is to move on to the next world. But obviously some people have anxiety with that, and that's understandable. But having Sangat around, it's a major thing. Without Sangat, you really are alone, and you believe you are alone when you really aren't.
That's so true. A lot of my posts are based on Sangat because it is so important. You learn the most from the people around you. So yeah, so if anyone doesn't know what Sangat is, it's having people around you, Sikh, people that follow the same sort of path as you. And sometimes I even look at it as Sangat just being as good people around you. It's literally just having a group of people that push you towards things that are good for you. You get people that will influence you in very bad ways. Staying away from them and attaching yourself to Sangat is the best way to go about not only this lockdown but life in general. And that is definitely something that I've learned throughout the last few months as well. It is so important to surround yourself with good people because that's where you learn the most.
Mm-hmm. Even if you are feeling alone, there's always Guru Sahib, and they're literally unsung. They're everywhere. We're lucky enough to have like apps on our phones that have Gurbani on them, so it's easy accessible. We can even take Hukum Namaz from our phone, Sahib Hukum Namaz. So like we're really blessed to have that sort of technology that helps us to even connect with Sikhi even though we're locked indoors. So I've seen like the 52 Hukums, like the series that you've done on your Instagram. So what kind of made you like make posts about that topic in particular?
Do you know what? I feel like back at that time, I was reading a lot about 52 hukams, and it's like what you said earlier about everything being hukam. So I was very interested into what was Guruji's hukams for us. Like, what is it that we can follow now that can make all of this a lot easier? Now, I've seen basics of Sikhi's videos about 52 hukams a countless number of times. I used to watch them all when I was little. And so I thought, what better way to help other people understand the same questions that I have than to put it in a post? And then it turned into 52 different posts, right? So now Guruji's blessed me to be able to make all of those 52 Hukum posts, which are now there and everyone can read them. And they're so interesting to go back to, even for myself, just like as a reminder. Obviously, when I made Sikhi class, it was more based on me trying to organize what I've learned. I am like a very much so that I like seeing what I've learned. So, even with my uni folders, all of my notes, they're all organized into things that I've learned, things that I haven't learned, things that I need to come back to. And I feel like having just those folders, those highlights on my Instagram page is just like things that I can go back to and go back to learning again. So it was essentially just my organizer, my folder at the start, and now it's turned into me hopefully teaching other people as well the same things that I'm learning myself. So the 52 hukams is really kind of important to me because that's where I learned a lot, even like the little things like not lying or treating everyone, the very basics of just treating everyone equally, waking up at Amrit Vela, things like that some people might forget, so or not know how to do. I know the struggles of waking up at Amrit Vela. We've all gone through it. We all wake up in the morning, 2:00, 3:00, and we struggle to get out of bed, right? Everyone has the same questions. So it's always nice to have a reminder to go back to be able to see that. Just have it there so that when I forget, because there might be a moment when I forget, I'm trying not to
forget.
but when I forget, it is there for me to go back to. That's literally the only reason why. And I've got a lot more posts coming up, hopefully, if uni lets me do a little bit more, but uni has been manic. Stuff about the women in Sikhi as well. I feel like when I was going through lockdown, we were exposed to so many issues: the Black Lives Matter movement, women, and the gender pay gap, and all of these things that have come up and come to light during lockdown. They're all things that have been there in Sikhi. They've all been there. Everyone's seen it. There's been women in Sikhi that people might not even know about. People overlook that. They don't think that there were essentially women in Sikhi. It's all about men, but it is true,
Men, yeah.
right? But so I mean, even creating that series for me is just a reminder of what women are capable of doing, because there will be times where people tell you otherwise. Even today, like we're in the 21st century, but people will tell you that a woman can't do what a man can. But then you look back at, the women that have been there years before us that did the most incredible things, right?
Sacrificing their lives, like they've basically they've done the same thing that things have done, like men have done.
Exactly. My first post was about my biology, and it was since then I've been so intrigued about every woman in Sikhi. I want to know more, and I think that's what has made me push my account a little bit further as well. Because as much as I'm teaching others, I'm also teaching myself. The first person I'm teaching is myself. So, I mean, I definitely agree with everyone else trying to do something similar to what we're doing, because you do learn the most. I mean, hopefully you can agree. You do learn the most stuff of doing stuff like this.
Yeah, yeah, I do. From reading your post, it is like especially the 52 comes. It's like an ego check. Like you can literally see what you aren't and what you are doing, and most of the time we're like I'm speaking for myself. Like, I'm not doing the majority of like those things, so it keeps you in check of like if you are following hukum, because obeying hukum is a hard thing. It's one of the first things that Guru Nanak Devji says in Japji Sahib as well to do, and it really is hard. But like having that post and having those posts and mental reminders is really important. And going back to the women in Sikhi like topic, like there's this line in Gurbani that says like listening and reading Sakhya about Sakhis about the ancestors, that's what makes children good. So for the youth out there, especially that are on Instagram, reading your posts about inspirational women in Sikhi, that will like change their mindset on like who they are, who their ancestors were, and how strong they can be. So it's a positive thing that you're doing out there in the Sikh community, definitely.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Oh no.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this is what I mean about even just having Sangat around you, because you do learn. I mean, I learned so much of you. I've learned so much off of other Sikhi accounts that I've been following, and seeing, even from following different Sikh society accounts. I see what they're doing, and it's nice to see how they're helping Sangat that go to uni, people that want to get into
Yeah.
Sikhi, and the Sangat in the community that their uni is in, right? So you said you're in Birmingham, you want to do the longest, giving longer to people from your uni, right? That's big. That changes a lot, and it can change other people's mindsets as well, and it helps people a lot during times like this. Obviously, wish we could do it, but it's that type of thing where we're just trying to help people that are in similar situations, if not, worse situations to what we're going through. And that is like the importance of having these accounts and why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah, for Instagram, it's basically making most of what we have, like the resources. We can't actively go out into the public and speak because it's obviously COVID, so we have to do it through other means, like through Instagram posts, podcasts, and things like that. A lot of Sikhs have actually come out onto YouTube and doing podcasts and Instagram as well. So it's really something that like can make a positive difference to people, especially those who are at university and have moved out. Like you've moved out and I haven't had that experience. But you maybe like saw friends that have like gone down the wrong path, and it's important that we as Sikhs like we stay on the right path.
Yeah. Now, as I said, I'm very, very lucky, because the girls that I'm with, that I live with, and the friends that I'm surrounded by, even from back home, and my mum, like they are all people that just push me the right way, and not everyone is blessed with that. So having, like you said, like social media and being able to look at other places to try and find that is a really good thing, and we're very lucky to have that nowadays, because you go back 20-30 years, there wasn't anything like this, and you just think about how if Sangat could do it then we have no excuses right now. But what would you say to someone who is maybe struggling right now in terms of lockdown, in terms of their mental health, in terms of uni?
Definitely, like being at home with your family, it can bring issues like domestic violence and like family issues where like the children aren't really being treated fairly. So it's using that duk and directing your energy and like falling at the feet of the guru to like connect with Sikhi. It's like the best. You're in the best situation when you're at your lowest to like learn and grow from that. So in this lockdown, it's providing people. Like it's unfortunate to say, but it's providing people with that duk, which is actually the medicine that Gurbani says, duk daru, and the pleasure is obviously the disease. Another analogy there, guys. Um, but yeah, definitely the duk is what's driving people towards Sikhi, and also the loneliness, because everyone experiences loneliness. It's one of the most like leading things in the elderly as well. We just have to try. It's actually really hard for the elderly as well. Like I haven't really put much thought into that, but they're like self-isolating because they're at most risk. So it must be really difficult for them. I'm not sure, but there have been like Midlands Langar Seva in Birmingham who have been reaching out to them and providing food for them in these hard times, which is good.
That is good. I've seen that as well, where Gurdwaras are supplying langar for those that can't come out of their homes, which is again another form of seva that if you are capable of doing, you can put your mind to. I feel like the second you've got your mind to something, we've seen how many people have picked up different hobbies to try and get them through lockdown, all the paint by numbers things. I mean, I can admit I was a paint by numbers as well. I was into that. But it's all these things that are trying to get your mind off of something bad. And I feel like Gurbani, I feel like Waiguruji, I feel like putting yourself in that position where you are fully trying to become one with Waiguruji and trying to learn what Guruji is saying and trying to understand that this is actually happening for a good reason is actually so helpful. So even doing seva is just in itself so helpful. I feel like we are doing seva by what we're doing, and at the moment I feel like as much as I want to do more, this is all I can do in this position. But then if there's people out there that can do a lot more, do it, because you will feel good about yourself, because it does make you feel a lot better and it does help you be a lot more positive during this time.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that's helped me during lockdown is physical activity. Like as Sikhs, we should be like physically like able to like live and like fight as warriors. So when lockdown did lift the first time, I joined the gym because I had nothing else to do. Like uni was over, so then that pushed me to like go to the gym and like think about my physical health as well. And when you're in the gym, you like it sort of helps your mental health and it gets rid of your worries sort of. Especially if you're listening to Kirtan or Katha whilst you're on the treadmill or something like that. That's where some of my analogies come from. When you do vichar inside of your own head with the pracharak, they give you ideas and they help you in the gym. The Sikhi is literally everywhere. It's at home, gym, school. It's everywhere. So it can definitely, physical health has helped. Physical training has helped with mental health.
Yeah, see, I wish I could say the same, but I don't remember the last time I went to the gym. So
All right.
hopefully soon.
Even at home, like during now, like when gyms closed, a lot of guys and girls like got like a bit upset, obviously, because it's their way of like channeling their like anger or their like their negativity into producing something that's positive. But that you can do, like we can do it at home now. Like there's videos on YouTube that you can do press ups, even just a little bit, like a 10-minute jog. Another thing that's helped me actually is like going out for walks with my friend. We live in the same area from uni, and we just go out for walks and just talk. So having at least one friend to talk to and walk, it's really, really beneficial to clear your mind, especially if things are going like if things are rough at home.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely recommend going for walks, especially in the autumn, because it's beautifully like red and yellow leaves and scenery is nice. Don't know what it's like where you live.
It's so true. It's so true. I feel like if you are going through a lot and things aren't easy for you, then don't be scared to like find someone that will help, because I can't stress enough, just talking about problems, talking about things that are on your mind, it will help everyone through this. It's going back to that Sangat talk again, where you're having good Sangat around you that can actually help you through problems like this, and then problems in the future as well, where you're confused about Sikhi or you're confused about life. Having people around you that can answer your questions and help you out, or even help you find the answer if they don't know it themselves, is so important.
So, yeah. So a question that comes to mind is, so now that lockdown has, like, this virus has affected your uni studies, how are you feeling about the prospects of like your future career and stuff? Because that's something that's been on a lot of students' mind.
You know what? I can't lie. It is stressful, right? It is very stressful. Even just the idea of learning everything online now in itself is stressful. But this goes back to what I was saying at the start, where I have a lot of faith in the whole process. I have a lot of faith in what is happening to us right now, that in the future it will happen, there will be good out of this, and there will be, by the time I've graduated, there will be something in store for me, if hopefully all of this is cleared up by then. But it is just that, having a positive mindset and just saying to myself constantly that this is very difficult, and I'm aware, like, I make myself aware of how difficult this is. It's hard not being able to go home and see my family as well. Things like that are making this year a little bit more difficult than a normal year of uni would be. But having a positive mindset and saying that, this is Wagruji's Hukum, and there will be good out of it. There always is good out of it. Everything bad that has happened to myself, to people around me before, like, we've gotten out of it. So this is just another thing that we're just going to go through and get out of it and come out on the other side, then be a lot stronger by that point as well, within ourselves, within our community, with the people around us. We will learn so much off of each other, to the point where when things go back to normal, or whatever the norm might be, things will be a lot better for ourselves, be a lot more, hopefully, stable in ourselves, a lot more secure in ourselves, and we'll be able to hopefully I'll be able to go and get my career, if that is in the plan. But no, I'm pretty sure it is, and it is just keeping positive. And that's literally what I would say to anyone else as well. Just keep positive. I know it's difficult, it's a lot easier said than done, but find something, someone, find your faith, find something that just helps you keep on track.
The way I'm personally dealing with it is taking it a day at a time. Like, obviously I have like not a set goal, but like I have that in the back of my mind, like I've got to graduate at the end of these, like the next 2 years. But taking it a day at a time, doing what you can, like doing the research into your university course, like learning like little things, even if it's just one thing a day, it's still making a positive impact on you as a person, and like your employability at the end of the day. So when it does come around to like getting a graduate job or whatever we decide to do next, you're mentally prepared and you feel like you've done something during the time that you've had. So definitely take it one day at a time, guys, because that's what we can do. Like even Sikhi, bringing it back to Sikhi, that's like Nithanim, it literally means like daily routine. So, and it helps us to focus on just the day. So I know I've got to wake up for Amritullah in the evening. I've got to find some time to do Dera Sahib. And having that daily routine, even if it's just one little thing, like I'm going to log onto my laptop and I'm going to search what a protein is. I'm not something little. I didn't want to confuse the Sangat there with too much biochemistry, but even something little can go a long way. Like Tesco says, every little helps. Yeah.
Another analogy. No, it's so true. Having a routine is very important, very, very important. Including Sikhi into that routine, like what you said, waking up at Amrit Vela, and then for me it's like wake up at Amrit Vela, and then maybe take a nap, which might not be what we're supposed to be doing, but maybe take a nap if I need it.
It's okay
Because
to take nap.
let's be real, at uni you don't get enough sleep. You do end up sleeping late. So waking up, going to uni, coming back, doing day rastabad, having food, the whole process and having a daily routine really does make the days go a lot easier. You kind of don't build the time to overthink. It's not, you don't have an hour of just doing nothing. Having a to-do list in itself is so important, because then you stop overthinking, stop getting yourself in a position where you're gonna think negatively. And if you're doing all this positive stuff throughout the day, things that are going to help you in the future, things that are helping you today, you're going to look at this lockdown a lot better. Like you said, people making, YouTube videos on workouts and stuff, that's part of their daily routine, and that makes them feel a lot more positive and productive. So, just having that in itself is so helpful.
Yeah, doing what you love is really important, because you've got to have the passion and drive to like constantly like work on it. Like this technology page is something that it started in 2017, but it's still, I sort of stopped because of A levels, but then I brought it back because it's something that I enjoyed making, I enjoyed thinking about, and it makes a positive like change in my mind and in Sangat's like minds as well. But another thing that's like really important in our day-to-day lives that can help our mental health is being mindful of like the little things. Like whilst brushing your teeth, think about the water that, like we can think about the water that's there. It's a blessing in disguise. The food, being present in the moment instead of worrying about what happened yesterday, how many cases there were, how many deaths are going to happen today, or like things like that. Being mindful of who you are as a person, who you are in general, like as part of Vaheguru. You are the hukum, we are the hukum. So yeah, living in the moment, that's the key message from that.
Yeah, I feel like that's the key message for this whole podcast. I think it is so important. And let's hope that this helps the Sangat that are going through similar things to us, being a uni student, trying to find your way through Sikhi, trying to balance, family life and uni work and maybe a job, placement, whatever it is you're doing. It does get easier, but you just have to live in the moment, essentially.
Live in the moment. And if you're struggling to find like a placement, because it was hard for me to find a placement because a lot of companies shut down, just reach out to the people you know around you. Like it's actually helped me. I secured like with Marja's Goodbye like 2 placements, with one with my lecturer and one with a family friend. So it's really about who you know. So even if you think that you can't get like a job out there or a placement that's really good, there's still people around you, like your lecturers and family friends, that are willing to help, because everyone's in this together and they know the struggle. And even reach out to your own universities. I'm sure they have like a support bubble that you can go to deal with this kind of thing, like placement and graduate jobs.
That's it. Another reason why Sangat is so important.
Sangat.